Carl here from Brrraaains Head-Banging Life, gbhblofficial, and it's horror movie review time. Listen, I can't believe I have to say this. Do not believe the hype. The few things that make In a Violent Nature more notable than any other slasher, that stuff is far outdone by the frustrating and downright boring experience that it is overall. The attempt to freshen up a tired genre, failing spectacularly, purely because it is all such a colossal waste of time. I can't believe I have to say this. Written and directed by Chris Nash, In a Violent Nature has a very simple story. A Friday the 13th style story that sees a malevolent beast of a man reanimated after the locket that rests on his grave is stolen by some young adult. He wants it back, and like Jason will relentlessly pursue those who stole it and kill those who get in his way. A slasher tale as old as time. And In a Violent Nature isn't offering up anything fresh with this story. No! Its trick is its perspective, as In a Violent Nature puts the viewer alongside the killer, viewing his actions from over his shoulder like a video game to a degree, third person style over the shoulder angle. But there are times when that isn't possible, and then the film tends to change the angles in unexpected ways. In a Violent Nature generally offers up a really unique way to view it, and that is worth praising, even if that aspect is dropped in confusing fashion at the end. How the film is shot is often the first thing you hear about this film. Hell, I'm talking about it too. Followed then by exclamations of extreme gore and violence. While the former is true, the latter is not. And there's been a lot of exaggerated words put out there about this film. There is one inventive and nasty death. But everything else is standard slasher stuff, and none of the gore is worth getting that excited about. Terrifier, this is not. This is just one of the many disappointments that In a Violent Nature ends up delivering.
What the f***?
Animals don't get too hung up on reason. They just keep killing.
Yet, that feeling is still not trumped by the sheer annoyance that comes from the pacing, seemingly in an attempt to really push boundaries. In a Violent Nature moves at a sloth-like pace as we follow along with the killer's methodical march onwards. Lengthy, and I am not understating this, lengthy scenes of him just walking through the woods searching for his prey. You'll keep thinking, I certainly did, that it will surely cut to a new scene. It'll stop here and we'll cut to something else. But it never does. It just keeps going on and on and on. After the third time of having to experience this, it becomes utterly groan-worthy. And then, in doing that, loses any impact the original sequence had. Had it been a one and done, I'd have maybe been like, that was pretty cool. But over and over again, no. Tension can't be built when you're bored. And worst of all, even if it manages to create some of that, such as there's a cool extended underwater shot, the payoff is rarely worth it. Sure, it creates an uncomfortable environment for the viewer, but it isn't fun. It isn't fun in the slightest. It's an endurance test, and the filmmakers will win every single time. How else do you explain the baffling final segment that feels like a mockery of the viewer's time investment? You were stupid enough to watch it to this point. Here's 10 minutes of nothing, followed by it just ending. If you weren't already angry at the film beforehand, this part will do it. I was infuriated. The acting, it's standard stuff. Mostly everyone plays their fodder role fine, seeing as that is all is asked of them. Alas, there is some ropey dialogue during another lengthy scene that is screaming for an edit, and a jarring shift that makes a final girl a focal point means that once again, and I'm going to say it, In a Violent Nature finds a way to frustrate the hell out of you. The innovation that the film offers doesn't make it a better experience. And there's a gnawing sense that there's almost a disdain here for horror, such as the uncaring attitude shown towards the word entertainment. This is not entertaining, it is a chore, and an insulting one at that, given a lofty position and hyped to the max for absolutely no reason. It pains me to say this, folks, it really does. I hated this film. I thought it was arrogant, I thought it was terrible, I thought it was boring, I thought it was insulting. I think it missed the mark in almost every department, and the things that it does well are so outweighed by the things it does poorly and bad and insultingly that it's not a recommendation from me. I almost feel like the reviews and the people that are praising it are trying to be smart asses as well, are trying to be like, oh, you just don't get it. What's not to get? It's slow, it's boring, it is dragged out, it's a 20-minute film turned into an 80-plus minute film with lots of filler in between. Hell, it went through countless reshoots and extensions as well. I'm not wrong in this. And a lot of people do agree with me, thankfully, because at the end of this, I was like, what did I miss? Why did I not connect with this in the slightest? Why am I angry? Why am I frustrated? Why do I dislike this so much? I went straight in line, was like, it can't just be me. And thankfully, it is not just me. A lot of people, and I agree, talk about the filming style, talk about the attempts to innovate, and at least the attempts to challenge. And I completely understand that as well. Just for me, no, it's just bad. It's in a violent nature. This one is going to evoke strong feelings, I suspect. What are yours? Let me know in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like to see more content like this, please consider hitting the subscribe button. It is gratefully appreciated. You can find us over at gbhbl.com, our full website where reviews, news and so much more goes up daily. We're also on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, at gbhbl. Just search for gbhbl and you will find us out there. We also have merchandise on sale. You can access the shop via the website.